Hello, I'm here. It was a bit of a rush to get here in time, but I made it. Cheers, everyone. It's Friday. It's rolled around again, and it's time for some of the usual Friday lubrication. Good health. Oh, that hit the spot. Unusually this week, Budweiser. Um, It was sent to me as a gift by a very generous chap that we all know well in this parish, Mr. Balder, in the chat there. He, just out of the blue, he sent me a case of the stuff, and I thought, well, when better to be seen enjoying it than on Friday? So I've not touched a drop of it until now. Yeah, I've been drinking the Carlsberg Export instead. Anyway, it's rolled around again. It's Friday. A couple of things I want to talk to you about tonight, but before we get into any of that, let's have a look at the chat and see who was first in. Rent to Kill has reclaimed his crown, first through the door at 3:04 p.m. UK time. Excuse me. Then we've got David James, Theme Tunes, Boulder 64 is in, the aforementioned chap. Terry Day, Autogeddon 1 is in, so is Cylon Hybrid. I noticed that StreamYard's giving me the sort of normal names this week rather than the ones it was doing last week with all of the numbers after it. Anyway, Cylon Hybrid, Dave Fiendish, Anton is in, so is Chip Young. Johnny Random's there, and we've got Ingrid and Ben Allmark and Peter Collins. There's Mark Kerno, Cushman NYC, Tom Clark is in, so is Amadeus. Vincent Brennan is there, so is John Ross, Rubbish Guitar Bloke. Nice to see you back, mate. We missed you recently. I don't think I've remembered reading out your moniker for a few weeks. Hope all's okay. Then we've got Sometimes Dim, Never Thin. Again, I think I've missed you in the past few weeks, mate. Again, hope everything's all right. Who else have we got? We've got Peter S., Peter Nicholson, Francis Chambers, Malcolm Spillett, Grumpy Horse, Frank Bolam, Chris Otterwell, Heidi and Poppy's World is in, so is Johnny D, PFY Guitars, and Dave Snack Stevens, who is at, it's a long one, this I'm going to have to put it up on screen, who's at the Allfold Rock and Blues Festival in Surrey, England. 11 hours of rock and blues and real ale bar for 3 glorious days. Some great bands and musicians. Cheers all. Sounds like my kind of festival. Anyway, who else we got? We got 60s man Doc Alders, Paul Trainer BSc. Jimmy James is in, so is Cal B and the Rocco Cat. And Austin Barrett. Who else have we got? We've got Rexomatic all the way from Phoenix, Arizona, who this week is playing with his Godin, make your choice, Fifth Avenue. Lovely guitars. I had one of those on loan from a pal of mine. Oh, God, got to be a couple of years ago now. Lovely arch top jazz guitar. Beautiful. Then we got Grandpa Joe. As ever, I'll put you up on screen, Joe. Wishing everyone a happy and safe weekend. Consider supporting John's channel by joining his Patreon. Tier 2 offers a twice-month chat with John and fellow Fattercasters. Thank you, Joe. I don't pay Joe for any of these plugs. He just likes to give me a bit of a shout-out. Thank you so much, Joe. Who else have we got? Cal Texper is in, and Jimmy James, if I haven't said you already. Ian Clark in sunny Sussex, home in time for the whole show this week. Nice one, mate. Then Colin Falcon, Pablo Hank, Blue Sofa Songs, Peter Hall is in, so is Thomas Mulvaney, and regular as clockwork, Paul Trainer BSc chucks a couple of quid in the tip jar. Thank you so much, mate. Much appreciated. We got Jay Aoyong, John Channing, Cylon Hybrid is in, and diddly D. Let's have a look. Nathan is there. So is Janice L. Greg H. Moon's Guitars is in. Rent to Kill's back again. I think what Rent to Kill does is he just kind of, stakes his claim at as soon as I put the live stream up, when I kind of set it up, like upcoming, and then comes back and says hello again. Who else have we got? Searching for Tone. Not sure if this is a sore subject, but happy 4th of July, folks. I'm sure the rest of you really don't want us back. No, I think enough time has passed for us to have got over that little, shall we say, that little difference of opinion that we had way back when between our two nations. Anyway, happy 4th of July to all of the transatlantic brethren who gather for hopefully a beer, whatever time of day it is over there. I hope you can say, well, Friday rules apply. Who else have we got? We got Gordo Canuck, Jeff Benner, Johnny D is in, so is William Forrest. Is that Hozzer? That's new one on me. Is that somebody I already know who's changed their moniker? Robin Fawcett is in, so is Chris, so is Steve Muskie. Muskie's back again. Somebody we haven't seen for a while, I seem to think. And Chris Otterwell saying, pleased to have my proper name back. Steve Cassidy is in. Normally I give Steve a shout out for his video straight after this live stream, but I was watching your live stream on Catch Up today, mate. By the way, epic opening jam on Steve's live stream. If you've not seen it, excuse me, the joys of live streaming. There's my phone pinging. Yes. Nothing important. If you haven't seen Steve's live stream from yesterday, then go and check it out. Probably one of the best opening jams he's done, in my opinion. Who else have we got? We got Graham Campbell, Triple X Paps. Let's have a look. Anyone else? Russell Gibson, Music Therapy Laz is in. So is Dave Fiendish. And who else we got? I think that might be everyone. Or Real Ryle. I'm sorry, I know I butchered that pronunciation, but glad to see that you're here, mate. Eric Luttinger, Sargi is in, so is Derek Clacton, Dingers 63, and I think that might be everybody. Let's just Peter Williamson, don't want to miss you out, mate. And there you go, that's everyone. So that's 123 souls on board at the moment, and after that little bit of a marathon, I need a little bit of lubrication. Oh dear me, that's the first one gone, and I only brought 3 up with me. I'm sure I'll make it. The first one never touches the sides, does it? Yes, Mr. Baldy, you're not wrong on this Budweiser, mate. You said that once it's chilled, it's not, it's quite a quaffable beverage, and I've got to agree with you on that. Maybe just any beer tastes better on a Friday. I 124, young man, says Mr. Chris. But I think any beer tastes better on a Friday. I think that's probably a scientifically provable fact. Anyway, let me tell you what's coming up on the channel this week. If you're watching yesterday, you will have seen my first impressions of this rather delectable thing, this G&L Comanche. And as I said in yesterday's video, on Sunday, as in Sunday that's coming, it will be the full review of that guitar, and we'll see what it's like under all the usual sort of scrutiny that I give these review guitars that I do, hear what it sounds like in a mix. We'll take some weights and measures and do all the usual kind of more considered thoughts after having played it for a couple of days and, kind of wrote a piece of music around it. That's coming up on Sunday. By the way, that guitar is currently for sale. It's up on eBay, and Mr. Balder, if you may notice that your moniker now has a little blue spanner next to it, so you are officially part of the moderator class. Yes, welcome, welcome to the upper tier, mate. What that means is you can paste links in the chat. So if you've got the eBay link handy for that guitar, then feel free to chuck it into the chat so other people can go and check out your listing and maybe hopefully get you a more speedy sale. Anyway, that's Sunday's video, the G&L Comanche. Monday, another sort of blues rock soloing lesson. I did start off these kind of things thinking I'm going to do blues one week, melodic rock the next, blues one week, melodic rock the next. And they're just creeping ever closer together. And I said at some point we would get into just the territory of blues rock. And I think this is probably the first one of those. We are looking at how can you describe this without kind of giving too many spoilers? We're looking at the method of composition, shall we say, the method which includes soloing, that is beloved by everybody from Lynyrd Skynyrd to AC/DC and beyond. It is, if I was to kind of at a push name one thing that defines kind of bluesy sounding rock, it would be what I'm going to be talking about on Monday. So if that's got you curious, watch Monday's video. Tuesday's video is one that I tend to do occasionally. It's like, when you used to read guitar magazines for a long time and you'd kind of think, well, hang on, you've only just recently covered that subject, and then you realise, actually, no, it was about 4 or 5 years ago. Well, I'm starting to find that with doing YouTube videos, there are certain subjects that you got to keep coming back to because people weren't subscribed to the channel 2, 3, 4 years ago. So that's what we're doing on Tuesday, another sort of a revisit of the recommendations I would make to anybody looking for a beginner rig, the pieces of equipment that I think are just absolutely, well, not essential, but really, really helpful if you're a beginner electric guitarist. The guitar, the amp, the bits and pieces that go along with it, that's what we're talking about on Tuesday in the top 5 Tuesday sort of format. Then Wednesday is another one of my revelations from the days when I was skinny and had hair and was a young man, a young wee whippersnapper. When I was learning to play guitar, I figured out many things for myself because there wasn't a lot of information available, and along the way there were various light bulb moments, and that's what the Wednesday videos are all about at the moment. These kind of these revelations that presented themselves to me, which I'm sharing with you now. Wednesdays is all about knowing what key you're in and what chords are in a key. If that sounds like a little bit dry, hopefully you will check it out and realise that it's actually quite valuable information. I thought so anyway. It made life a lot easier for me at the time. Then Thursday, checking out a guitar that I shouldn't really like, but I ended up quite liking it. It's a rather sort of footballers' wives looking SG. It is on a scale of 1 to 10. It scores about 12 on the Liberace scale, but I just couldn't help myself from really taking a bit of a shine to it. So that's what's happening this week. G&L Comanche review on Sunday. Don't forget to put if you haven't already done it, don't forget to put the link in the chat there, Mr. Boulder. Then blues rock kind of stuff on Monday, beginner rig on Tuesday. Wednesday is all about how I discovered what chords are in the key, and Thursday is a rather blingy looking Epiphone SG. So there you go. That's what's coming up on the channel this week. I want to say a massive thank you to everyone, by the way, who has so far purchased a copy of the new book. It is finished. How to Play Melodic Rock Lead Guitar. If you tell me in the chat. I can give you a little preview of the sort of stuff that's in it in the book right now. Nothing that will annoy anybody that's actually paid full whack for it. But just if you want a little bit of a teaser of the kind of stuff that's in the book, then shout out in the chat, and I will. I'll happily grant your wishes. Just call me your fairy godmother. But yeah, seriously, thank you to everybody who's bought the new book. I realised that probably the first week of the month wasn't the best time to make it go live, because it's a long time till payday, isn't it? Oh, there we go. There is the link to. Oh, not that one. There is the link to Mr. Balder's G&L Comanche. God, when your mind goes blank, does that happen to you? So there you go. Is there a way I can pin that? I don't think there is in the chat, but what I'll do, Balder, is I'll put that as a pinned comment after we've finished the live stream. I don't know what's up with me today. I do beg your pardon. So I will. Can I copy that from here? No, that would be too simple, wouldn't it? Can I grab that from? No, I'll just have to scroll back through the chat and put it as a pinned comment. But I shall do that, mate. Where was I? Yes. Yeah, Rent to Kill is saying it's nice to see that everyone's names are back to normal. Searching for Tone is saying, I haven't purchased it yet, really need to commit and finish the first 2 books. Yeah, well, there is, I'm currently weighing up whether it's worth kind of doing some kind of bundle, a discount bundle of all 3, because, what do I know about? I know about music theory, I know about playing blues, and I know about playing kind of melodic rock. I can't really think that I can write much about anything else. So, I think that's it. I think that little trilogy is all I've got. So now it's complete. I'm thinking I might just kind of do some sort of bundle, the sort of thing that Rick Beato does all the time with his his kind of courses and ear training and Guitar Lessons Pro and all that sort of stuff that he does. He often does discount bundles, limited time offers and stuff. The Wonders of the Pan Flute says, Michael Purcell says autobiography. That would be the most boring book in the world, I promise you. I don't have, well, I suppose I do have some tales to tell from, when I was playing in the working men's club circuit, but, I've done videos about those. So, how about a video of you playing Apache on the Comanche? I might just do that, mate. I might just do that. It'll get demonetized absolutely instantly, because I did a Shadows thing when I did the Squire Classic vibe in the background there. But yeah, because actually I might just I'm going to write that down. Apache Comanche. I better get my skates on and get that one done, because I don't, the guitar's possibly going to get sold or bought by somebody. I better get me skates on and get that one done. Anyway, what's the state of play? Do you want to see a teaser from the new book? A couple of people saying, tease me, please me. Okay, that's Rubbish Guitar Bloke. Cal being the Rocco Cat, always up for a spoiler or two. Teaser. Okay, I tell you what, I'm going to go and let's see if I can find this in there. This is just one of the sample solos that's in the book, okay? Hopefully this won't freeze or anything, but, these things, do happen. So I think what we'll go with is there's a chapter in the book on using double stops. So I'm going to go with that one, with one of the solos from that chapter. So I just need to do this and go video file, and into here and into here. Fingers crossed that this isn't going to freeze. We haven't had freezing videos for a while now, but this is one of the sample solos from the book when I'm talking about double stops in the book. So here we go. Let's see what this is. There we go. Come on, get back. How do I get this? Oh, I've knackered it now, haven't I? Right. How do I go full screen on this? No, not that. Oh, DMA, what's going on? There we go. I'm back. Don't know what happened there. Blame it on pilot error. That's the kind of thing that's all the way through the book. Just short little solos like that, with lots of licks to learn and tabs, jam tracks. If you've seen any of my stuff before in these books, then you know the kind of format it takes. Oh, Gary Shaw is among us. Nice to see you, mate. Session guitar legend. I wondered where you'd been. Yes, thank you, Real. Ian Clark saying, nice to see you dressed up for the book videos. Sunday best trackies, indeed. Yes. Right. What have I missed? What have I missed during that? Balder64 is saying, I didn't utilise all the John Robson guitarist curry recipe, but I did take a few tips from it. Well, nice. Funny you should say that, mate. That's what I've been doing today. I've been... yes, because last week we had a disaster. There was no curry in the house. Well, I've remedied that this week because this is what has been happening in the Robson kitchen today. A big batch of my world famous, I like to think so, chicken madras, and the freezer is now full of that. So that will be providing our evening sustenance in the Robson household tonight. Chip Young is saying, are your books for intermediate or those aspiring to be? I try to make them as accessible as possible to all levels. I do say in all of them that they are not beginners guitar books. You need to have some level of playing. But if you can play bar chords and if you can just, kind of play a basic pentatonic box, then you're pretty much good to go with all of them. They are. There's no kind of twiddly shreddy stuff in there for you to kind of look at and get. Well, I'm never going to be able to do that. It's all as accessible as possible, and it's basically not just a bunch of licks to learn. I'm basically trying to explain a way of thinking and a way of looking at the fretboard and a way of implementing just a few basic bits of knowledge, really, that have a good grounding in what you need to do in any given situation. Because believe me, if I can do it, anybody can. It's this myth that you need to have some kind of egghead, brainiac sort of mental capacity to be able to do, to be able to play, blues rock guitar or melodic rock or to understand music theory is a myth. As I say, if I can do it, anybody can. And that's sort of the attitude that I try to instill throughout everything I do, including writing these 3 books that I've done. Peter Nicholson is saying, John, does your wife do any cooking? She does. My missus is an absolute whiz when it comes to baking. She makes some absolutely astonishingly good cakes and pies. And for our American brethren, pies in the UK tend to be more of a savoury dish. I know that in the USA, pies tend to be more of a dessert kind of thing. But we have meat pies, chicken pies. My wife's corned beef pie is just absolutely to die for. It's fantastic. So yeah, she does a fair bit of cooking, and we share it between us really. Michael Dodds is saying, John, are double stops playing two notes at the time? Yeah, either two notes at the time or just pairing notes up to create a little run. Let's grab a guitar. So a double stop can either be, where's a pick? Let's grab a pick. I'm not plugged in here, but hopefully you'll be able to hear it. A double stop can either be this, or it can be this, like that. So, it's just coming up with pairs of notes that you can create runs. Like that, I would consider that sort of thing a double stop run. Michael Purcell is saying she should go on Bake Off. Yeah. I think she used to watch Bake Off. Well, I think she still does, but it's. I think some of the creations that you've got to come up with on there, kind of cakes that look like, kind of sculptures and stuff like that might be. Well, she's never done that kind of thing, so there you go. Anyway. I need some more drink, and then I think we'll mosey on over to Viewers Guitars Corner. I think we're going to start calling it that. I meant to do that gallery theme tune. Dougal Dog saying the corned beef pie sounds great. Never had one of those. Oh, corned beef pie. Yes, it's pretty much a staple, certainly in this part of the world. Greggs do a knife. Greggs, anyone in the UK will know what Greggs is. Do a fantastic corned beef pasty, but corned beef pie where it's just got a bit more to it. A technical term. It's got a little bit more of that to it. Where are we? Triple X Paps is saying, with that new Agra-Jagan beer flagon, it sounds more like Flake Off. There we go, mate. Doc Alders is saying, food for the gods, corned beef pie. Indeed it is. Anyway, I'm just going to go and dig out some pictures of guitars to show you. It is a little bit Telecaster heavy this week. I've just had a lot of pictures of Telecasters come up randomly in the choice this week. The first one isn't though, so let's have a look at that. Where are we? Share screen, and this one. Now this one comes from a chap called Dave Coulson. Now, back in the dim and distant days of the 1980s, I went to a Merchant Navy radio officer training college in the English Lake District. And there was a chap there who was also from this part of the world called Dave Coulson. And he played guitar, I played guitar, and so consequently, we were, it was a common interest, and we often shared a beer, well, 20. And anyway, he's found me again. We lost touch for decades, and he's found me again through what I'm doing here on YouTube. And he decided to send in this pic of this guitar. This is his modded Squire guitar. This guitar, I think I probably started as an 80s. I think it's an 80s Squire. Looks like a Strat shape, doesn't it? But it's been heavily modded. First thing he did was fill in the trem cavity and put a hardtail bridge in it, route fake F hole and then do all kinds of shenanigans there with the pick guard and the wiring and everything. And it's just that's a guitar that there is guaranteed to not be another one like that anywhere in the world. Looks a little bit like some of those Fender pawn shop guitars, doesn't it, that they had a few years ago. Oh, there's my phone again. Bear with me. What the hell is this all about? Oh, Anton, you're a gentleman, sir. Anton's bought a copy of the book. And that was the notification coming through. Yeah, but this is an old mucker of mine from college, Dave, and this is his guitar that he's modded heavily. And that's a nice-looking guitar. Do you know what I think would make that look really, really properly sort of Premier League? If that pickguard there was tortoiseshell against that white body, oh dear me, that would be sex on legs, wouldn't it? Anyway, what we got here, we've got Dave Thompson's Eart Corsair. Lovely guitars, these. I used to have one, as you know. Never, for some, I can't put my finger on why, but even though it was an absolutely gorgeous guitar to play, I never quite bonded with it for some reason. But you can't deny those Eart guitars are just absolutely top drawer stuff. Yeah. Do I miss mine a little bit? But yes, it's bringing back nice memories of the one that I used to have. Anyway, what we got next? This is another one from Dave Thompson. This is his Les Paul Special, which seems to have a mini humbucker in the neck position there. That's going to be a blues rock beast, that, isn't it? You just know when you pick that up that you're going to kind of start going into all of your favourite blues licks and wailing away up the top end, over some kind of chunky backing track in the key of A. Another one from David Thompson. This is, he sent me a bunch of pictures of some of his kit-built guitars, and this is his Harley Benton Jazzmaster kit. I like what you've done with the headstock there, mate. Is that how the headstocks come? Whether it is or it isn't, it's sort of got a bit of a George Jetson kind of look about it. I don't normally like offset guitars, as has been well documented, but that there just, I think, especially with Jazzmasters, it's all of the sort of clutter that you get up in this part of the pick guard up here with the switches and the dials and stuff. I think that's a large part of what puts me off them. But that with a Duesenberg trem on it, it looks really rather nice, it has to be said. Am I softening my stance on offset guitars? Watch this space. Then Paul Heath has sent us a lovely picture of his classic vibe Squire Telly. I do like the Go Faster stripes there, and obviously this has been modded because we've got these look like Wilkinson Bridge saddles here with the compensated, kind of intonation gubbins going on there, and I do like that sort of that black bridge tray there. Nice looking guitar, mate. Yes. Both modern and retro at the same time, it seems to manage that one. Nice one. A couple from a chap who we've mentioned a few times, Rob Bald. This is a couple of his tellies. This is a guitar that, if there's one guitar that falls into, seller's remorse category with me, it's one of these, a Fender Light Ash Telecaster. I used to have one of these. It was the guitar that really turned me on to Telecasters. So it's, excuse me, until I had one of these, I was very much the dyed-in-the-wool strap guy. And I thought, I'm going to buy a Telecaster. And I bought one of these, and suddenly it's like, oh, yes, it's like coming home. I think we've got what looks like a blue pearloid pick guard on there. I ended up changing the pick guard on mine. I had a hand-tooled leather one on, which was absolutely astonishing. And as I say, had to sell it when times were a little bit hard. Then what we got over here, this is a Michael Kelly guitar. Not a brand I've ever tried, but a brand I am very, very interested in getting my hands on one, because find a bad review of one. You just can't. Everybody says how much bang for buck they are, but you never... They're one of those brands that tend to fly under the radar, aren't they? You don't hear many people talking about them, but the people who are are always singing the praises. And yeah, love the look of the top on that one. Lovely stuff. And another Telecaster. This one is, well, it belongs to a fellow called Tom Clark. And as you can see, it's a 1973 Telecaster, which I think, am I correct? That officially makes it a vintage guitar, paired up with that lovely looking Vox Valtronics amps. I really used to love that Vox Valtronics Tone Lab that I had, and I believe those amps are basically just that in in some sort of amp housing with a power amp and everything. I did consider getting one of those amps at one point, but ended up getting the Marshall DSL-1, and anyway. But yeah, lovely looking guitar, mate. Nice and original, and just it wears its age well. And another one from Tom Clark. He said in the email to me about this one, he says, I know you're not really into offset guitars. Oh, but I am. When it comes to Firebirds, I do love the look of a Firebird. When I was about 14 or 15, my dream guitar was a 3-pickup Firebird. That shape, not the other ugly kind of shape when they kind of just made it look more like a paint spill. The 3-pickup Firebird. There was one in my local music shop for what seemed like for forever. And I would go and kind of stick my snotty nose up against the glass of the window and stare at it. I again, not a type of guitar I've ever owned, a Firebird, but it always reminds me of the Explorer's slightly more polite relative. Do you know what I mean? But yes, lovely looking guitar, mate. Absolutely stunning. And another vintage guitar here. This is Vincent Brennan's 1975 Greco Les Paul. Yeah, it just looks so kind of so 70s, doesn't it? With that sort of that pickup look there was very much in vogue in the 70s, and just everything about it. Don't know, just it looks like open book headstock. I bet this is a lawsuit era guitar, isn't it? Absolutely lovely looking guitar, mate. I would. Again, it's not a Les Paul, but when you picture a Les Paul in your head, you usually come up with something that looks a lot like that, don't you? Lovely looking bunch this week. Thank you once again for everybody for sending in your pictures. If you've got any guitar pictures that you want to share with me and the rest of the Fatcasters here on a Friday, then you know what to do. Email them over at jrguitartuition@gmail.com, and I'll stick them in the pile and they'll get shown. Doesn't have to be a guitar. It could be a bass. Doesn't have to be a guitar or a bass. It could be a pedal board or an amp or something. Just anything that is, something that is your pride and joy and you want to share with fellow musicians and tell a yarn about, basically. Anyway, I just need to just recharge the old pipes. Here we go. Oh, dear me. It's not a bad drop, Budweiser. It has to be said. It does get a lot of, comes in for a lot of flack, doesn't it? Because it's basically, kind of, what's that beer they drink in The Simpsons? Duff. It gets a lot of flack for being the big corporate, bland, kind of beer, but I've got to tell you, I'm having a very enjoyable experience with it. So, Cal B's saying coloured water. Bud Light, yes, I did drink Bud Light a few years back because it was all I could get in the supermarket that week. There's a fly going around me here, and that was basically just tap water. But this is this isn't the light stuff. This is the what is this? 4.5%. So that's maybe not as high as I would normally shoot for, but 4.5. It's above 4, so we're gonna be happy with it. It'll get the job done on a Friday. Put it that way. Anton saying, "What's up? Just having a bud." Yeah, I remember those adverts as well, mate. Dudley Squat is saying Bud is very low in gluten. I don't. Is that a good? Is gluten good for you or bad for you? I know some people insist that they have to have everything free of gluten, but I'm going to say something perhaps a little bit controversial here. But bear with me on this. I do believe that there are many people who will. I was at college, right, with a guy who was genuinely a celiac, and he had to be very, very careful about what he ate, and because it could make him very, very ill if he ate the wrong things. But I don't know. I think there's a certain contingent of people out there who, think that some specialist food requirement makes them a more interesting person, and that's why they, they will bang on about it at every given opportunity. Ravensmead is saying, just bought a Harley Benton Big Tone hollow body, great fun. Yes, I almost bought one of those many, many years ago in the very early days of this channel. I don't know if any of you remember a YouTube channel. It used to be, it was always cropping up in my feed, a fella called Nick in the States. I don't know what's happened to him. I know his child was quite ill, but the last he was reported on that was that she'd made, kind of a good recovery. But then he just didn't sort of put any content out after that. And it's a shame because he was a really entertaining guy. And he did a review of a Harley Benton Big Tone. It's basically like a Gretsch copy, isn't it? And he absolutely slated it. So I thought, oh, well, yeah, perhaps I won't then. Oh, I say I've got more super chats. Janice L, thank you so much, mate, for the guitar leads, etc., etc. That is very generous of you, mate. Thank you. As our late lamented and departed friend Mike from China Guitar Skeptic always used to say, never caught it, always appreciated. Thank you. Where are we? Yes, that is effing close to water. Yes, so it's like Bud. It's like having sex in a canoe. It's like effing close to water. Anyway, yes, that's was it Balder who told me that joke? I can't remember. Steve Cassidy saying 65% of the world's population are lactose intolerant. So if you're not, then you're special. Yes, indeed. Where are we? Drunk Nardo is saying, hi, sir. I saw Beer O'Clock and immediately subbed. Cheers. Well, you're welcome, mate. This is what we do on a Friday here. I often have like a few scribbled notes that I do about 5 minutes before I hit the go live button about what I'm going to talk about. But mainly it's just, I started this during lockdown when they shut all the pubs. And I thought we have to have an online pub. And that is very much, the kind of vibe I want to sort of create here. It's where we just turn up and we have a beer and we kind of shoot the breeze, basically. No script, nothing planned, or very little planned. And, we just kind of have a hang on a Friday. What's not to like about that? Anyway, I'm just going to get the rest of this down my yap. And I'm going to pour another one. And then we're going to have a viewer's tale. Again, for the new and uninitiated, amongst us, viewer's tales. If you have any amusing story about a brush with the rich and famous, or maybe the not so famous, if you have any kind of amusing anecdotes about, that are music or guitar related, just ping them over to me, jrguitartuition@gmail.com. They'll get put on the list, and every Friday I read one or two. Well, I usually read one out. The only time I don't is if I run out of them. So if you have any, as I say, any amusing anecdotes at all, of the kind of nature I'm going to read now. This one comes from Steve. Then just ping them over to me, jrguitartuition@gmail.com. Anyway, Steve says, "Hi John, around 10 years ago, I went to the reopening celebrations of a local guitar shop to mark their relocation to a bigger and better premises. The big attraction was that Bernie Marsden was going to be there to play a few songs and sign some autographs. Accordingly, I got there early, but quite a few people had the same idea. I was on first name terms with the shop owner, Trevor, as I had bought a lot of guitars and gear from him over the years. As Trevor knew I'd made the odd impulse buy in the past, he was keen to get me to try out a new high-end Super Strat guitar. I obliged and started noodling on the guitar to pass some time while waiting for the arrival of Mr. Marsden. I didn't bond with the guitar, so only played a few minutes before handing it back. Shortly after this, Trevor announced over a PA system that Bernie Marsden had arrived. The shop, which was huge and really rammed with people when Bernie took to the small stage that had been erected for him, he played along a few backing tracks and then just that he had put together, and was amazing. He didn't do anything flash or show off like, but just exuded class and charisma. To me, he demonstrated what a truly wonderful player he was. He invited some questions from the audience and told some funny stories about life on the road and the pitfalls of fame. I'll go along with that, mate. Yes, just to interject here for a moment, I saw Bernie and Mickey Moody with their band A Company of Snakes, which was basically one of the lineups of Whitesnake minus David Coverdale. And he was just like the consummate raconteur on stage. Really, really entertaining guy. You know, you could listen to him talk all night, let alone play. Anyway, he told some funny stories about life on the road and the pitfalls of fame. He finished off by inviting anyone from the audience who wanted to join him for a jam, then pointed at me and said, "But not him, he's too bloody good." I know he was only joking, and I had completely been unaware that he'd been listening while I was trying the guitar, but it made me feel like I'd just won the lottery. He stayed in the shop for ages, talking to the punters and signing some merchandise he'd brought with him. He was really approachable, funny, down-to-earth, and the type of bloke you'd love to have a beer with. So sad that he's no longer with us. The world could do with more like him. Thought you might like that tale. All the best, Steve. What a lovely, heartwarming tale. Yeah, that is really nice. Thank you for sending that in, Steve. And that is the penultimate viewer's tale that I've got in stock. So if you have any others, and yeah, that's the kind of thing. Any stories of a brush with the rich and famous, or rock gods, or it could just be an amusing story, that something that happened to you on a gig one time, anything like that. As I say, jrguitartuition@gmail.com. Send it over, and it'll go on the list to get read out. Rent to Kill. As Father Jack would say, drink, unless he's sober. He says, don't tell me I'm still on that in Ireland. Yes, that's probably gone over the heads of many people. Father Jack, classic UK sitcom from Father Ted, rather. Classic UK sitcom from the 1990s. Loads of clips of it online. If you have anything resembling a sense of humour, then go and hunt some clips of Father Ted on YouTube. I guarantee you will you'll laugh so much you'll need to change your underwear. I'll guarantee it. Anyway, Cylon Hybrid, what you saying there, mate? John, had a few minutes today looking back at your vids. Go back 14 years. If anyone wants anything from 11 years ago, it's all there. Amazing content, yes, but we have changed, all of us. Yes, indeed. I got a little notification from YouTube today in that my channel is officially 14 years old today. I thought, hang on, what's that work out like? It's older than that, because I know I put my first video up in 2008, because it says when I look on YouTube, joined in whatever the date was, 2008. So that makes it 17 years old, doesn't it? But anyway, who's going to quibble over 3 years? Maybe see, when I first joined YouTube, you didn't have a thing called a channel. You had something called an account. It was, I used to put all kinds of crap up, honestly. I did toy with the idea of taking down some of my earlier videos at one point, but I thought, no, it shows, what's that thing that we all talk about now? The journey that we've been on, I've learned a little bit about my craft of making videos in the intervening years, and hopefully still am on the learning curve. The Lammy is among us. I didn't see you in there, Lammy. You snuck in while I was blethering. Nice to see you amongst us. If you don't already know about the Lamb, go and watch him, his Saturday night shindig or Saturday night shenanigans, whatever he calls it. I love to try and catch it, but I can't really do it at the moment, because if I was to say to Mrs. Robson that I'm just going to put a YouTube live stream on. I know you wanted to watch Netflix. It's Saturday, it's date night and everything. I'm going to put a YouTube live stream on. Yeah, I don't think it would go down very well. Cylon Hybrid saying wallpaper hasn't changed. No, it hasn't, mate. No, it hasn't. It's like I need to do some decorating in this house, but I need to do many, many things that I don't have time for, because, I'm too busy blethering into a webcam all day long. Blue Sofa Songs is saying, please check out my channel if you get a chance. Blue Sofa Songs, you are a mod, mate. Put your link in the chat. Rentakill saying, I was watching videos of you, John, 14 years ago earlier. Yes, I was thinner and I had hair back then. Yes. I wonder what happened in the meantime. Anyway, let's have a look, see what else we've got to yap on about. Malcolm Spillett is saying, there's a clip somewhere on YouTube of me playing on Anglia TV show from 1987 when I still had hair. Oh, hang on, I've just got a notification here from StreamYard. I'm not interested. Go away. Something about some new browser updates that are incompatible with StreamYard. I do notice that these StreamYard videos these days, they're only in 720p. If I want to upgrade to 1080p, then it's a ridiculous amount per month. So I am looking at other solutions for the live stream. I might have to have a word with Mr. Cassidy and see what he does. I know you can use OBS Studio, and I use that all the time, but it is a little bit resource heavy, and this is a bit of a knackered old reconditioned laptop that I do these live streams on. So I shall just have to. I am looking into upgrading the quality. I'm thinking of getting the hardware sorted so I can do some sort of jam during the live stream as well, because it's nice to sort of change things up a little bit. Where are we? Let's have a look. What else has dropped into the chat? Chip Young saying, weren't we all, John? Yes, indeed. Yes, thinner and hairier. If anyone knows of a British TV presenter called Richard Madeley, back in the 1990s, I often used to get mistaken for him. Yes. If you're not sure who Richard Madeley is, go and Google him now and then compare that to what you're seeing on the screen now. The years have been kinder to him than they have to me. Blue Sofa Songs is saying, I came across playing barcodes on John's channel during lockdown. It was really good, and he mentioned the live show. The rest is history. The Lamb saying, happy to help anyone if I can. Feel free to throw a techie email my way if you fancy a natter. Excuse me. I might just have to do that, mate. Johnny D saying, now come on, John, that's a stretch. Honestly, yes, people would. I'm not saying this, just there's no punchline to this or anything. People used to say, oh, don't you look like Richard Madeley? Now I look more like his missus. Anyway, that's another story. Anyway, so Peter Hall saying, no jams in the live streams, John. We want to see your videos from 14 years ago. Well, I did a bit of a retrospective when I hit 30,000 subscribers, which to me, that's just mind-boggling. 30,000 people have hit the subscribe button to listen to a fat, bald pleb like me blether on about whatever I talk about. There were a few clips of my earlier videos then, and it's like, on a really nasty, cheap little webcam that you could buy from Asda for £5, and you could hear all sorts of background noise like the fan buzzing and stuff. It just, but that you got to remember that, back in 2009, that's what a lot of YouTube videos look like. It's amazing how far the kind of production values overall of everyone's channel has improved in those terms. Colin Falcon saying, Richard Madeley, do you also need nick bottles of do you also need to nick bottles of plonk from your local shop like him? Oh, that's right. He got done for shoplifting, didn't he? I'd forgotten about that. Yes, I think he got away with, or didn't, not get away with it, but I think he pleaded his case in front of the Beak to such an extent that he was, it was a misunderstanding, my lord. It was one of those. There's Mr. Chris posting his channel there. So go and check out Mr. Chris's channel. He's saying the most shite guitar ever. Michael Purcell saying you should try the Ali G look. Ali G, I know the name. Was that some comedian from years ago? I don't think I'm familiar with his material. Anyway. Austin Barrett, thank you. John, we love you. Thanks. Well, very, very flattered, mate. Thank you for saying so. Jeff Rock is saying, I like Paul Stafford Cook. He does all his videos on his iPhone. Yeah, he's a great player as well. Really down-to-earth guy. And, I don't know what, I'm subscribed to him, but I haven't got many notifications lately. Has he been taking some time off? I don't know. Grandpa Joe is saying, hot dog eating contest in New York. Joey Chestnut ate 70 dogs in 10 minutes. Crazy. Yeah, that's... occasionally when me and the missus just want a quick, easy evening meal, it's just chuck us a pack of hot dogs in the air fryer. Oh, thank you, Steve Cassidy. You are a gentleman, sir. Thank you. That is much appreciated, mate. Thank you so much. And yeah. And the thing I always muse about whenever we have hot dogs for our evening meal is, and if somebody's got an answer to this, I'll probably kind of leave you with this to muse over the weekend. Why is it that hot dogs come in packs of 10, but the buns only come in packs of 6? Oh, I've got that StreamYard notification again there. We're not interested in that. Hot dogs come in packs of 10, but the buns only come in packs of 6. So you can have 6 hot dogs. Can you guess what happens to the other 4? They go in the bin. A bin that's got 4 legs and barks a lot, and he's called Dougal. So yes, Dougal always likes it when we have hot dogs in our house because he doesn't get them all at once, but he does get them all. Anyway, chaps, hot dogs and buns and stuff, I think we're at the point now where I need to draw a veil over it, and more than anything else, I'm starting to get hungry, and there's a batch of curry waiting for me downstairs. So we're going to wrap it up there. Thank you once again for turning up and watching a fat, bald northern lad talk absolute bollocks for an hour. It's been a blast, and I'll keep on doing it till you're sick of me. Until then, time, gentlemen, please.